What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Mark Roden. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are having a Mark's Talks kind of video. You know, we're going to talk about some things that Mark wants to talk about. And today's topic of discussion is going to be, are flame tunes or flame maps, whatever you want to call them, good or bad for your car? What do they do? What, everybody out there that owns an Infiniti has flame tunes, and is that a good thing? Are they really fast cars, or what's the deal? What's going on with those things, man? What's the deal with flame tunes? I don't know, man. That's what we're gonna talk about today. Oh god, this road is terrible. Oh. Alright, so the way that they work, right? The way a flame map or flame tune works is when a car revs its engine, it shoots flames out the exhaust, right? And you may be asking yourself, well, how does that happen? How do they get it to do that? Is it just insanely fast? And I want to start off, I want to preface, shall I say, by starting and saying that there are multiple cars out there that are just too fast for their own good and they can't help but shoot flames. There are plenty of cars out there that shoot flames, and it's not a like show car thing. It's not like to be cool. It's because their car just does that because of how much power they actually have in their motor, and they just can't help it. I mean, I'm sure they could help it, but it's probably like the least of their concerns, right? They don't care too much. It's shooting flames, it looks cool, they're all right with that. But the majority, 90% of the time that you see a car shooting flames, it's not because the car is fast. All right, let's just start out by saying that. As a matter of fact, if you take a stock car and you tune it to shoot flames, it's actually going to be slower than if it was just stock and wasn't shooting any flames at all. I know that sounds weird, and I know that sounds crazy, because it's like, oh, well, how? Because it's shooting flames. It's so powerful that it's shooting flames. And the way that is because in order to even get your car to shoot flames, you have to tune the motor. And you can tune any motor to shoot flames. VQs are very good at doing that. But you don't need to add any power mods. You can keep a, well, obviously you need to change up the exhaust a little bit. But you can keep a stock 350Z, change up the exhaust a little bit, and then tune it to shoot flames. And how you do that is actually pretty damn simple. All you do is mess with the air to fuel ratio. So I'm gonna try to say this the best way I can, but just know that I'm a little rusty on this topic. But there's a perfect mixture of air to fuel ratio when talking about a car, and it's, I think, 14.3 to 1 air to fuel, and it's called sketiometric. I don't know exactly what numbers it is, but I think it's 14.1 to, or 14.3 to 1 air to fuel ratio. I think that's it. I could be incredibly wrong though and making a fool of myself right now, but I do think that's it. Oh, this is a tunnel, my good friend. Let's listen to this baby roar. What a lovely car. Anyway, yeah, so it's sketiometric, right? Every car out there from factory usually has a 14.3 to 1, once again, that could be wrong, air to fuel ratio, and that's called sketiometric, and that's perfect. That's what you want to have in a car. It's the perfect mixture to run a car cleanly. When a person has a flame tune, what they did is they went into the computer of the car, the ECU, and they changed those numbers around so that it pumps out more fuel. Because if there's more fuel in your car's motor that it doesn't actually need, what's going to happen is your car is not going to need all that fuel, and it's going to shoot it out of the exhaust, because it's not going to need that much. And so then the fuel is going to cake the inside of the exhaust. Well, obviously your exhaust gets extremely hot, and so when you press on the gas and you have it shoot air out the back of it, since that exhaust is so hot, it's going to catch that fuel that's sitting on your exhaust on fire. And when it does that, a ball of fire is going to come out of your exhaust. So that's how it happens for the most part. I mean, obviously there's a little bit more that goes into it. A lot of the times turbo cars will have a problem with shooting flames when they don't want to, because they're just pushing more boost and they can't get it tuned correctly. That can also be another problem, is that they went somewhere and they got the car tuned, but the guy tuned it incorrectly, and so now it's shooting flames because he's got it wrong. But for the most part, when you see a car shooting flames, it's not a good thing for the motor, for the car, for the power, for just about anything. It's not good. It can also be a safety hazard. If you have a car tuned to shoot flames, it can catch the whole car on fire, not just the exhaust, and that's obviously a big old problem. So that's one very major downside to shooting flames. Now there is one and I only mean one, very small upside to having a flame tune. And to be honest with you, the only thing is to look cool. That's really it. I think for the most part, that's the only reason why people are actually getting these flame tunes, is to look cool. Like I said before, these flame tunes, they don't increase performance at all. They actually decrease performance. If you're losing fuel, that's obviously not good. You're pumping a lot more fuel into the engine than it needs to be. The engine's doing a lot more work than it needs to do, and you're wasting a lot of fuel. It's not gonna have as good airflow. Everything is just out of whack now of your engine. Keeping it stock instead of tuning it to shoot flames is actually going to keep the performance better than if you were to shoot flames. On top of that, it's also pretty expensive to shoot flames because you have to get it tuned first, and then once you get it tuned, you're just going to be wasting gas all the time, no matter what, no matter if you want to or not, because it's not like you can turn on a flame tune, right, unless you got like a freaking BMW, because BMWs, you can like download these tunes, and it's really weird. But for the most part, you can't just turn on a flame tune and turn it back off. As a matter of fact, that guy right there, I know that guy, his name's either Tony or Elvis, but he has a flame tune, and he has that BMW. It's a nice BMW. And they can go on their phone and change it, which is actually really cool. But for the most part, cars can't do that. And so you're just going to be constantly driving around with these, wasting gas constantly. So it's going to cost you money in that sense too. And gas prices are insane right now, so you don't want to do that, obviously. There's quite literally no other upside to it besides being cool. And I will admit, it looks sick as hell. I love when I see a car shooting flames. I think it's awesome. It is badass. But in the grand scheme of things, man, you're honestly only hurting your engine. You're only hurting your engine, you're only hurting your car, you're only hurting your wallet. It does look cool, but that's the only upside to having a flame tune. If there's any other upsides that you can possibly think of, please, by all means, in the comment section down below, let me know. But for the most part, there isn't. And before you say something like, I know some people have tried saying that the reason why they have a flame tune is because it cleans out their exhaust. That's what they say. They say it cleans out their exhaust and causes for better airflow because it burns off all the rust. That is probably the goofiest shit I've ever heard. If you think that shooting flames is cleaning out the inside of your exhaust because it's catching the rust on fire, you need to do a lot more research. It is only making your exhaust even worse. If you have catalytic converters on your car, you're probably going to clog your cats. Not a lot of good things that's happening in the exhaust when you're shooting flames. And like I said before, I do understand that there are a lot of people out there that have a car that's so powerful that it pretty much has to shoot flames, and I get that. And that's pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie to you. But for the most part, you know, Infinitis and BMWs, they're not that powerful. I mean, they are powerful. Okay, before somebody comments, my BMW could gap your 350, bro. I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they're not so powerful to the point where they're shooting flames. All right, that's that. So the next time that you go around town and you see an Infiniti and it sounds badass, and you look out your rear view mirror and you see this guy, flames coming out the back end of it, just know that the chances are that guy is still bone stock. He just got it tuned to shoot flames, and he's destroying his car. I highly recommend, and I mean highly recommend, that you do not tune your car to shoot flames. Crackle and pop tunes are a bit different. They're kind of the same thing. They're still going to have a worse effect on your car. It's not going to make it any better. It's just for show, just to be cool. But at least crackle and pop tunes aren't quite literally burning your car from the inside out. You know what I mean? A flame tune is just going to cause premature wear on your engine, on your exhaust, on everything in your car that you don't need. So before you buy yourself a flame tune, really think to yourself, is this going to be a show car, or am I trying to make this into a performance car? Because if it's going to be a show car and you're not going to drive it a lot and you don't care if it gets a little bit destroyed because it's not going to be a daily driver, then by all means, adding flames to a car is a pretty cool addition. It's almost like a cosmetic mod, and it does look pretty damn cool when you're at a car meet and you just start shooting flames. I will give you that. So if you're building yourself like a show car and you want to put flames on it, I have no problem with that. That's normal. But if you really want your car to be very powerful and you want to have a very fun, fast, maybe a drift car or something like that, me personally, I would recommend that you stay far away from flame tunes and flame maps all the time. It doesn't do anything good for your engine. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It was just like another one of, you know, Mark's talking videos. I'm going to try and bring these back now that I can drive the 350Z more. I like to doing these, just talking about random topics within the car community. Last time we talked about takeovers. Now we're going to talk about, you know, flame tunes, obviously, and we'll go on from there. Things that people like, and we'll talk about if they're actually good or not, in my personal opinion. And then, yeah, you know, let me know other things that you'd like to see down below. I'm super happy to be driving this car again and being able to make content for this car again. In 2 days, the next video is actually going to be another top 10. And I worked with an editor, and the editing quality is actually amazing, like actually perfect. Like, it's so good. So I highly recommend that you set your alarms for Wednesday and you watch that video, because it is fire freaking gasoline, boy. All right, it is just smack dabalicious, my son. So I highly recommend that you go watch that when it comes out, and let me know if you like this editing style, because if you do, we're going to keep doing it. If you don't, we'll go back to being the normal Mark Roden editing style. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'm sweating my balls off, so I'm going to turn this video off and roll down the windows. Das Vidania. Have a nice night.